Welcome to today's podcast, where we spotlight Mr. Viral Desai, a passionate environmentalist and entrepreneur dedicated to combating climate change. With an impressive track record, he has planted over 650,000 trees and established 7 urban forests around Surat. He has mobilized over 250,000 youth as Paryavaran Senani, driving community engagement in sustainability. He has also partnered with the Gujarat Forest Department and the Gujarat Pollution Control Board to launch the Satyagraha against pollution and climate change campaign. This movement has united communities and increased awareness of environmental issues. His influential book, Architect of Amrutpath, has inspired many to adopt eco-friendly practices. His remarkable contributions have earned him 5 National Energy Conservation Awards, including the 4 Golden Trophies and recognition from 3 presidents of India. Through his digital platform, Tapri Media, he aims to inspire millions towards a sustainable future. Mr. Viral Desai's journey and contributions illustrate the impact of personal initiative in tackling worldwide issues. His true dedication to environmental sustainability, along with his creative mindset and entrepreneurial drive, positions him as a genuine role model for generations to come. Join us as we explore his journey and the impact of his work. Before you enjoy this episode, please go like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Can you share the turning point that led you to earn the title of Green Man of India?
Doing something for the society, doing something for nature, and I was very inspired by the Tatas, the philosophy of JRD and Ratan Tata at that point of time.
Yes.
So we started with cancer camps. So then I started with the Clean India, Green India campaign. So the Clean India, Green India campaign was the initial, this thing I planted around 150,000, 2 lakh trees. Then again I went into this thing, research and everything, and I came to know the statistics, and then I was very shocked.
Hello sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, that's glad to know. Alright, so what intrigued you to go in the field of sustainability?
So what do you mean by sustainability? Or like, what is the broader meaning of sustainability? Like, if you have to explain, what would that be? So it's as simple as that. There is a zero,
Yes.
and there is infinity.
Yes.
Now, people may say that zero means very less, and like infinity is
A huge number.
Yeah, huge number which you cannot count.
Yes.
Now, how can infinity be, something? How can it not be countable? After a countable number, like how can infinity be? So those are the paradox of life.
Yes.
The paradox of life is this: that there is one shepherd who is illiterate, and he only knows how to count till 20.
Yes.
So he has 20 sheep. And say for him a random number, precise number would be 3, 5 or 15.
Yes.
Right? So if you say that there are more sheep than 20, then what would he say? That I have so many.
Yes.
So many is the thing which I am talking about when in this perspective of sustainability, when we are saying we had so many. If we are satisfied with it, then again, then next generation
Yes.
will also be enjoying the light of it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, as we have started utilizing those things
Right.
for our materialistic pleasures,
Yes.
that for the next generation we have not bothered. And the materialism has been on such level that a particular person would be engaging or using those kind of things with the carbon emissions, which is so beyond
Yes.
that the other generations will when this planet, it is not the next generations that you want to give something about. It
Yes.
is their thing which you are utilizing. Once you have that feeling, then there is that sustainability on the major aspect. And whatever you do, whatever in any work, anything, if you engage with that perception that okay, water it will be a scarcity, and I want to take care of the renewable sources, or how can I utilize more and more renewable sources.
Yes.
So that is where the sustainability jargon comes,
Right.
because right now when these developed countries are talking about sustainability, like Germany, Canada, they have done their basics. They have reached there. As I was mentioning, that 8,953 per head tree count is something which is a very huge number.
Yes.
We are lacking that. So
Yes.
for us, sustainability can range from other different things, as well as even saving water to saving electricity also can be, taking care of Mother Nature and Mother
Right.
Earth. So that definition of sustainability, it varies from countries, it varies from places, and it varies from generations. So this is what I feel sustainability is all about.
The sustainability basic first is shifting mindsets for people that it's not the resources you're using right now for you. It's for the future.
It's for the future.
So take care.
Yeah, because usually what happens is, anybody who buys a electric car, they may feel that, okay, I'm using an electric car, I'm doing really good. But which is the grid that you are charging your electric car from? The grid is again a coal-based power plant, and you are adding to that value, as well as when those lead and all this other thing, which will be metals in the battery, which will be again recycled. So how will that recycling be done? Is it 100% sustainable? Is it biodegradable? And what else you can do? So this is where the definition keeps on revolving, it keeps on changing. But it is very important that in any aspect, anything, whatever we do, suppose if we are having a glass of water and we take only the water that we want to consume, then also it's sustainability. So it's something which is, if you simplify, it is there in everything. But if you made it on a commercial level, suppose you are engaging, that's a different story. But I feel sustainability is everything. Whatever we do, we can do it in with that attitude of satisfaction, and our wants can go less. That is why when I was explaining infinity also, if the wants are too less, we are satisfied, we are happy and content. So that is what came in the next generations. They will not have water, something which is very basic. Cape Town already had a situation like that. Chennai also had that situation, and it can happen to any city of India. There are heat centers that in the last couple of years, there have been research that 9 cities have grown massively. Heat centers have increased. So this is something which is very necessary. So what do we think, what will we give the next generation? So that's where sustainability matters. If the next generation, if your family matters, you will be sustainable. So that's what.
Yes. I saw a very famous quote which also states that my grandparents drank water from the river. My parents drank water from the tap. I'm drinking from the bottle. What will the future generation?
Capsule.
Yes.
So that is what, if we are not taking care enough, but I'm sure there are wonderful people like you who are bringing the awareness, and I think a lot of people have understood it. And we all need this collective thing. So CSR, it's corporate social responsibility, but I say collective sustainable responsibility. If we collectively do it, I think we can change, and we will be doing it with the next generation being very serious and very enthusiastic about sustainability.
So I feel one action at a time is not much efficient as much as we all do it together.
Absolutely. Collectively, we can change.
Right. So since you mentioned about textile industry as well, so it is often criticized for its environmental impact. So what are some specific ways you've addressed your sustainability within your businesses?
So basically, again, on the whole, when I'm mentioning, why am I trying to justify the sustainability? Because when you're wearing a Zara or when you are wearing a Mango, you may feel that you're not utilizing, you're just using cotton, or you're using hemp, or you are using other fabrics. Now, sustainability on that level, it is not possible that ahimsa silk or hemp or say linen, anything which requires water, which requires dye, fabric. So maximum when textile, what you are wearing, or what fashion you are doing, fast fashion you are doing, it is all then finally going to the dump. And the dump will it will not be a biodegradable this
Right.
thing. So for us, in India, our entire consumption is the demand and supply is very much this thing. So we usually whatever we produce in Surat.
Right.
So nylon and polyester is the man-made synthetics which we do.
Okay.
Now man-made synthetics are even Zara and everybody, they also use polyester and
Yes.
nylon into their this thing. Now the interesting fact is here sustainability was just jargon like that. Okay, if you're doing ahimsa silk, if you're, but that's a very less quantity.
Huh.
What we do here, we do nylon and polyester. Nylon and polyester is usually used in saris, dupattas.
Yes.
The entire India, from the north to the south, they either wear saris, either this thing, and for them, a 200 rupees to 2000 rupees sari or dupatta and dress is one thing which is very much needed.
Yes.
How we have changed this entire thing is my entire electricity, what you see, is working on a windmill based power generation. So it's 100% renewable.
Okay.
The second thing what we have interestingly done was, as I mentioned, that in 2003, after completing, when I got into textiles, it was run in a very conservative way. So I thought that how do I make money? What do I do different? So there are various ways in which I saved electricity in various ways. So from putting the variable frequency drives on the motors to technically altering the machines indigenously. I mean that we will do it with our own engineers. With our own engineers will change the output of the machine in such a way that it starts producing more. So then again, we saved a lot of power, electricity,
Yes.
at the same time, energy with manpower and everything. Then in our boiler, which the vessels which we use, we require steam.
Yes.
So we have a huge boiler. So once this entire process is done, then the steam is let off in the normal air. What we do is we trap that steam again. We
Okay.
take it back to the boiler and we heat it with the pipes which are there, and it just gets circulated in the pipes and the water gets heated. So when the boiler is supplied with hot water itself, so again you are saving a lot of coal.
Yes.
So those are wonderful, very unique things which we kept on doing. And gradually, even our manpower, even the workers who come from UP, Bihar, Orissa, Jharkhand, they also came to know that what is our goal and why he wants to do this and everything. So
Yes.
now we, as I was mentioning, it is a collective sustainable responsibility that Zenitex has won so many awards or this thing, because an MSME has never ever reached this stage.
Correct.
When I'm showing you one of this award, which we have here, so that award is what Reliance Hazira has won, and that's one single trophy is lying in Mukesh Ambani sir's cabin in Bombay. We have such 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as 5 awards like that, National
Wow.
Energy Conservation, and 4 golden trophies. So this is something which is not imaginable, that
Correct.
how you can win this award against Arvind or Raymond's or big companies like that. But it's just that we want to give back, and we want to
Yes.
do maximum what we can. So every year we have shooted our targets. We have for sustainability. This entire campus has more than 5,000 trees, plants, and shrubs.
Wow.
So that is again one thing. So we want to live in such a way, because this is this is where I spend my maximum time.
Yes.
And I want this green space.
So small steps can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Agree.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So the Tree Ganesha campaign is also like a very groundbreaking initiative that you have taken up. So could you tell me what inspired this initiative?
So what you are doing, you are going and taking podcasts, and you are engaging with a lot of people who have done good for sustainability. For me, I learned very early that all this thing, environmentalism is not glamorous.
Yes.
And again, it takes a long time. It is
Right.
not easy.
No.
If there is a blood camp, you just do the blood camp and you collect so many bottles and it's done. But it's not about in tree plantation is something, again, you require the specific species of trees.
Right.
You require those trees to be matured enough, like 3, 4, 5 years matured trees have to be planted. And once they have been planted, so for 3.5 years or 4 years, you have to take nurture, you have to take immense care, and still it is very possible that they might die because of some other interferences, maybe natural calamity, anything. And again, you have to replant that. So you start from day one. So it is very, very, very tough. At the same time, you don't have those videos and selfies in the first time, whatever you're doing. So it is not glamorous, as I mentioned. Now, how will I go and convince people that, okay, tree plantation is very important? And now that I knew the statistics of it,
Right.
I knew that per head tree count is the lowest.
Yes.
I came to know about this, a geographical area, a normal geographical area of a healthy individual of a country per person should be 33%.
Okay.
India is on 21%.
Whoa.
And Japan is on 80%. So this is where you can see the happiness index of
Yes.
the Indians and the Japanese go, so different.
Yes.
At the same time, there are mental disorders in children. In small children, they have started getting depression, they have started getting anxiety, they have started getting skin allergies because of that, because the humidity that is there in the nature is automatically on a normal way sucked by the plants and trees. But unfortunately, we don't have layers of them now.
Yes.
So it has started reaching our bodies.
Right.
Now, when I came to know about all this, I thought that how am I going to relate this to the young people, and how am I going to convince them?
Yes.
And there were other pseudo activists who would be, just taking a selfie and say, okay, I'm going here and I'm doing the plantation with one tree or one sapling. Everybody will take a picture and then they'll eat their snack and then they'll go away.
Right.
So that is not what it was. A very challenging thing, because we were planting trees and my number was also not growing, because when I'm mentioning 6,50,000, so I'm like, okay, 6,50,000, and that includes distribution of trees also.
Yes.
So it has to be a very real and a very this thing. So that is where I thought, okay, I will engage with a lot of institutions, schools, colleges. I will we had this beautiful tree, and one day I was just wandering in my plant, and I'm looking at this tree and I'm like, the tree looks like a Ganesha, and Ganesha festival was coming.
Right.
So we decided that we will make this a tree Ganesha. The first year that we did tree Ganesha, there are so many schools, colleges. We won the first prize, of the Eco Ganesha.
Yes.
And then every year the schools will be waiting to visit, because every year there will be different themes. So one year the theme was like United Nations Champions of the Earth were all there. So from Akira Miyawaki to Sadhguru to everyone. So Akira Miyawaki, if you are aware, Akira Miyawaki is a Japanese botanist, and who has come up with Miyawaki idea of tree plantation in a very small space. You grow maximum trees and the trees compete to each other, and that's how they grow into a very it's dense forest. In just 10 years the forest will look like 100 normal natural forests. So that is what so we had given some information and everything, and then another year it was the Amazon forests were burning. So 20% of the entire oxygen of the world is we get through Amazon forest, and Amazon is burning. So what do we do? So that kind of inspiration, architect of Amrutpath, what are the things which Gujarat government or the government of India has done, and how they are trying to bring the change, because there is a lot of myth, and there is a lot of this thing nobody knows about it. Like if I give you an example, Big Cat Alliance.
Okay.
Now, Big Cat Alliance is something wherein you might remember our honorable Prime Minister taking a picture of the cheetah.
Yes.
So a lot of this in the newspapers and the other social mediums you read that he goes wherever, he changes the clothes and he's taking pictures. No, it's not like that. But there is a very big thing that there were around 80 countries who had the big 5 cats, like either tiger, cheetah, leopard, and other the cats, jaguar. Those countries got together. There was a transit. There was ecology, economy, and biodiversity exchange in them.
Right.
So this is, again, nobody knows about it. This is what I have talked in my book. So these are the things which a common person needs to know, that my government is doing. What am I going to do?
Yes.
So there in the tree Ganesha, we would educate the students with this kind of things in a very very easy and a very this thing. So they can ask as many questions, they can interact, and they can have a wonderful time together. So they will, in the exchange, they will just take environmentalism with them. They'll become Paryavaran Senanis. So that's the idea of Tree Ganesha.
Beautiful, because even I feel that doing something creative and spreading awareness of the same can lead to good workshops and at the same time a good awareness.
So even Udna station or Udwada Green station, maybe you don't know about Udwada. There is an entire police station of Surat which is going to come up, and that will be the first green police station of India. That will be the Kapodra police station. So again, Kapodra also, see why I am trying to put all these things is we want that the common man who is not bothered, like, we cannot have activists only in the buildings or like those bungalows and all, because as such we have greenery and everything. But if we are talking about a per head tree count increase, we need each and every one, anybody who comes to your house help, they also start planting trees. So how do you change their perception is all the public places have to convert into greens, and they, that subtle subconscious message goes into them, and they start feeling that, okay, this is very nice. So this office, like you're sitting in this office also, this was an idea that I wanted an open to sky feeling. And why this thing? Because I wanted to be very close with nature, and I tried as much to inculcate nature in this setting. So that is what we have done with the police station also. The police station will have an entire pocket forest. The police station will have wonderful messages which will engage with each and every person who is going through and walking in the police station. The police station will also engage. There is a lockup in the police station, and the lockup also there is a message which is written that guna ka rasta chodo aur paryavaran ka rasta pakdo. So that is the beautiful. There is an entire path which is inviting them to a forest.
Right.
So that we want to change the mindsets, and that change of mindset will only happen if they keep on seeing, because there is a limitation. I can't go and convince everyone, or I cannot keep on talking. So that's where this places, the public places. So if you've been to Singapore, in any case, have you been to the Changi Airport? So Changi Airport is so beautiful. It has a butterfly park, and it has this biggest indoor waterfall that is there, and you will just love the place. There is an entire forest inside the airport. So that's the most beautiful thing. So this is where I'm saying that let's break this thing. If you've been to Bangalore, the Dodabella, the airport is also again talking about. So this is biophilic, and what your parents do, architects. So next term is biophilic in the entire world. The structures, the houses, because our urban dwelling places are increasing. All these those villages and the farming land is now converted into the farmhouses, and then big buildings and everything. So they are not taking care of nature, they are not taking care of this thing. So how can we care of nature, and what we can do? So that's what.
Beautiful. So even I feel that, let's say for example, the Tree Ganesha campaign you said, or the Udda campaign you said, spreading awareness is what we can do personally. But even when you do publicly at even public places, it plays a huge impact because someone or the else is reading it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, again, when you are taking this entire population, when you are talking about the entire population, then only the results. Again, coming back to that, collectively, if everybody is participating. So when we got the independence, we were struggling with it, right? There were so many things, and the one thing we changed was the Satyagraha. And in the Satyagraha, if you know, each and everyone joined. Jan juda tha, ek jan juda tha, and it may be a lawyer, he may be a doctor, he may be anyone. So when I'm saying a doctor when becomes a Paryavaran Senani, so the doctor will tell you that, okay, now you have been like stressed and you have anxiety and all that. So you'll say, put down your mobile, just go and take a Shinrin Yoku. Now Shinrin Yoku is a forest bathing, which is a term in Japan. So they tell them that, okay, for 15 days you have to go and spend some 45 minutes every day in the forest, and you have to do nothing. You don't have to hike, you don't have to do the camping, you don't have to go with your friends, you just have to go alone. You just have to be in nature, be with the trees, be with the bees, listen to the birds, and that calming effect is what can reset your entire body and give you an immune recharge. So that is what a doctor is doing. An engineer, on a level, like they will they'll come up with new gadgets, new machines, new this thing. How will they reduce pollution, and what all they will do for the output and everything. So a lawyer, how can a lawyer help? Is they will come up with a special policies, acts, and everything. Why would a tree chopping be allowed, and why, if you want to give the money, and if there is that, even there is no policy of urban forestation in our cities, because just in our cities there are no urban forest. Urban forest is, we have a garden department. So what do who derives this policy? So the lawyers can help us. So at the same time, there are various ways in industrialists can help, as well as maybe a creative person like you. When you go and you do a mass communication, or you do your cinematography, you can come up with cartoons which can relate to the kids at a very small age. They are targeted and they are inspired on a way. There is a very famous cartoon in Japan by the name of Naruto. In Naruto, they start explaining about the environment in a very, very small age. So these are the kind of things which can change the mindsets and the attitude of the people. And I feel everyone has to do it. It is very important that each and every one plays a role, and plays a role in the Satyagraha against pollution and climate change, and we can bring the sea change.
Yes. So just as you mentioned about Paryavaran Senani, I also feel that every profession, just as the SDG, are all connected interconnected.
Absolutely, they are connected.
So let's say, for example, good health and well-being is also connected to even economy. So I feel that whole cycle needs to be followed.
Absolutely. Have you seen this movie, Tikram? Tikram is a beautiful movie. I'm suggesting you to see the movie. So Tikram is a movie about a father and two kids. And they live in a plateau, like in an area which has a lot of visitors and tourists, because there was a lot of snow once upon a time. But because of climate change, the snow has vanished. So now the father loses his job, and he has to go to a nearby town, an urban dwelling in urban city. And the kids are very unhappy. They are very sad that dad, we want to want dad to be with us. So they do this tikram. Okay, how do we snow in this entire place? And they do everything. They fight. They stop people from chopping the trees. They stop, plastic pollution is addressed, and other things. Wonderful movie, but it doesn't snow. Why it doesn't snow is because in the Bay of Bengal there is another cyclone impact that resulted in the snow not falling. So what I mean to say is, everyone, it's like a domino effect. It's like a butterfly when shutters the wing. There are so many things which are connected. So we are all connected. We are all humans, and we are all there is a very thin line of connection between. So it has to be each and every one of us. Then only majorly the changes will happen. So that's what.
So, are there any new projects or goals that you're working towards to come push forward an environment or something related to sustainability?
So, I believe that major places, like, we don't need gardens now. For a person who has already evolved so much with plantations and distribution and everything, I feel urban forest is the need of the hour. And we have heavily invested, and we have a pipeline projects, a lot of them in urban forest only. So we have 7 such forests. The first one which we prepared was Shahid Smriti Van, Udana, and Shahid Smriti Van we did Shraddhanjali. We did a very exclusive way of giving Shraddhanjali to Lata Mangeshkar, or CDS Bipin Rawat would be planting a tree and giving the Shraddhanjali. And now, if you see I'll love to invite you to the forest. It's beautiful. You will feel there is a patch of Dang which is there. it's so dense and so beautiful. And if you come with your friends, you would not like to do anything. You just want to sit there and do nothing, kind of a thing. So that is the
Right.
forest, and it's a Miyawaki forest. It's the
Okay.
first forest of the Indian Railways and South Gujarat. So Indian Railways also, like, see, that's what I'm mentioning, that in the cities, in the urban dwellings, we don't have enough spaces.
Yes.
So it's a challenge now. Okay, how do we create unique space and how do we convert them to forest? So
Yes.
that if you are aware about a hospital by the name of Shushruth
Okay.
in Piplod, so then Shushruth Hospital, there was a requirement. ALS, if you know, there are ALS patients. There are people who are suffering from neuro disorders. So they wanted to do yoga there, and they invited me. And then I saw this entire hospital, and I had this idea, of real idea, that I will do an entire forest in the pots. So if you go and see, it is we have planted in pots, but there are 3 layers of plantation, and and that is known as Atma One.
Okay.
So we have tried to engage with
Yes.
a different set of people all the time. Now there is a forest which is going to come by the name of Shabri One, which is in
Okay.
Sachin, in the industrial area nearby to the industrial area of Sachin. So that is the biggest forest that we are planning to grow so far. More than 10,000 trees, plants will be there.
Wow.
And recently, about Shahid Smriti One, SVNIT, that's a leading body that did a very big research scientist had put some gadgets there.
Right.
And there was one gadget in the forest, and the other one was just nearby on the top roof top of a factory. And the PM 2.5 and PM 10, as well as other things, the filtration was tremendous, and the results were quantified for the first time.
Wow.
So once that quantification has happened, so maybe this research is going to go further help, and maybe in India will have a small pocket forests in all the cities in the future. So this is what I want to do as a foundation, as a this thing, and we want to sensitize the youth, people like you, maximize how they can contribute, what they can do. The schools can be green, the institutions, their tuition classes can be green, and it is not necessary that the greens it's only there in the land. It can be also in the pots. So
Yes.
any which ways, we need butterflies, and we want to see maximum sparrows rather than anything else. So that's what is my goal.
Yes. I totally agree to your point where you say that nature can also resolve a lot of our problems. Let's say from being frustrated for even a good amount of use disease to what not.
Yeah.
So I feel nature plays a big role in also
Nature
helping us in
definitely
a lot.
plays a very big role, but at the same time, again, there is a very big concern that every green is also not green, which is good. Like there is a species by the name of Conocarpus. Like Conocarpus is a tree. Again, it's not good. So I'm not saying it's not good or bad or whatever, but you have different better choices. Conocarpus can extract the water from the ground, as well as it can give you a asthma like a disorder, like in lung infection and everything. Then there is Saptaparni. Saptaparni also, in Ayurveda it is mentioned that Saptaparni is a very good tree. But if you are planting Saptaparni on, too many Saptaparnis in a row, maybe 10, 15 Saptaparnis, then again it is very bad for the lung,
Yes.
this thing. So there are a few things which we really need to, address. We need that concern and this thing. So there is another thing which you have seen in Surat specifically. There are so many places where the pigeon feeding has started. Now,
Yes.
pigeons, there is in the feces of the pigeon, there is bacteria which is so bad that it can give you a pneumonitis, and it will not be healed. So there are enough researches being done in India. Some of the places like Bombay and Pune, they've stopped. They have fined people to feed the pigeons. But here they have suddenly started all these big temples, and everywhere you see there is pigeon feeding happening. So now how do you stop that? Because nobody knows. They think that they are doing a very wonderful thing by taking care of nature and everything. And pigeons have evolved. So pigeons have come to the 10th, 15th floor, and they have their nesting, and they can produce their babies. But sparrow is not seen. So the balance is, again, the nature balance has to be there, and how the balance can take place, and how can this be a contribution. So this is what I'm trying. So as much as knowledge, as much as this thing for the common people.
Yeah, so the main part is awareness. If there is correct awareness, then there'll be a correct action plan for it.
Yes, then the attitude will change and the action will happen.
Yeah,
So,
just as the 3 A's
awareness,
you
attitude,
mentioned.
yeah, and action. That's one.
Wow. So, do you have any future suggestions or something which you would a message you would pass on to the youth to
Yeah,
follow?
I just would like to say this very small and a very easy thing that everybody, as we mentioned, that everybody is connected. Everybody is doing good. Now, will our society tune to that frequency that we can engage in the inspirational value of each other? By this I mean that if a school, or if a particular business or an industry or a particular person is contributing, going out of the way and contributing,
Yes.
can we actually relate and can we get inspired, and that inspiration will happen how? So it's again a simple thing that the cricketers and all the sports stars as well as the Bollywood celebrities, they're doing wonderful. I don't have a
Yes.
problem against it. But in any case, if there are industrialists or any other person who comes from the fraternity of celebrities also, who is going to give back, so that person can be an inspiration, and
Yes.
that person can value, can we take that value chain and where can we grow? If that happens,
Yes.
I think automatically things will change, because if an industry, suppose it's working on a windmill based power generation,
Okay.
and that industry, how is that industry making a difference to your house? It's making a difference to your house, no matter if you're not even dealing with that products or anything, but it's you are there in the city, and that industry is running on a windmill based power generation and it's saving so much coal. So then it is really affecting you. Now if you have that value system added, okay, I really like this industry just because this is that, so then people will grow, like people will want to start more and more or convert to that this thing. So that is the good message, and then everyone will follow the deal. Here the ordeal is just this thing that we are judging everyone, we are by the materialistic value that we have,
Yes.
like the big cars or this thing is fascination. But how about this role play that he has won the energy conservation, and wow, he is this, or
Yes.
maybe you have got this sustainability award, and as a young person, as a school a child who is studying in the ninth standard, is it's such a big thing for the youth to see you on a very bigger this thing. And if they get motivated and inspired by you, they'll all want to become like you.
Yes.
So in that journey, everybody is shining, everybody is picking up all the good things, and then the society itself, it's such more worthy of living, that I feel. But it's just the radiation and the frequency
Yes.
that matches. So that's one.
So yes, according to what you said, I feel that the correct interest is the correct intention.
Absolutely.
And I do feel that even technology nowadays is playing a huge role.
Yeah, it's messing up with technology is definitely playing a very big role. But for technology, I would like to say that whatever on the social media, and if you've been hammered with news. Now, hammered in that sense that you don't have to bother about a Kamala Harris or a Trump coming about the US elections, because you don't have a say in that. You cannot do it. But then you have been bombarded with all those kind of things. Bangladesh is facing a problem in this, but you are not concerned about Wayanad. You're not concerned about your own country. There is a state which is the God's own heaven, or God's own country, and in Kerala, there are 700 people, who are displaced, who, some of them have died, 400 have died, so many houses have gone away. You are not, you're not concerned about Himalayas, you're not concerned about the landslides in Shimla, you're not concerned about the Bangalore water crisis. So why? Because you don't see that, because in that entire echo of things which you getting hammered off the entire world, that social media is doing, this voice about what can happen to you and which is very nearby,
is hidden.
Because even the Baroda faced a crisis, because of some things, and it is very simple. It is not rocket science. Like suppose if we say that concrete blocks is something, rainwater harvesting needs to be done, but if you remove the concrete blocks, it will naturally, the rainwater will be seeping in.
Yes.
Okay, there was a time in which concrete blocks was really essential and everything, but now it is not needed. The entire countries in the world are now shifting off the grid. So this is where small things, small changes, but with that concern and that knowledge only can bring the change. Otherwise, if you start doing tree plantation without the knowledge of tree plantation, then you will be planting very small saplings, and those saplings will be, the mortality rate is 99% of mortality rate. So you are just doing the plantation with no this thing. You haven't chosen the right species, you have not taken right care. So this is where we need to change. And there are a few people, like, who can be engaged, and some of them, it is not necessary that everybody does engage in tree plantation. There should be some people who are really good, and they can, so everybody can inspire them. Maybe a student can only post it on social media, okay, this is the knowledge which I got, and this is what you should not do. That will also help, because in social media right now we don't know what we need to see, and there is a flight and fight response that is activated. So in our limbic system, there's a flight and fight response. So anybody, when in the past we were hunters, so for the food we used to go out to hunt, and then we saw a tiger and we used to run away, and we used to be scared about the tiger, and we, like, that was the thing. So that is the kind of flight and fight response that was activated. Now this flight and fight response gets activated by only the news that you see, and you are so scared and afraid. So every time you see that, you are in that mode, like, okay, the leopard is chasing you, or now this is happening, and you have to run, and you have to get scared. So you don't have rest, you don't have a calm time. That will only happen if nature is around you. And as elderly, we have been very lucky and blessed that we have played in the mud, we have had those scratches and everything, which these days, with all the the media games and everything, and social media, you don't have. As well as the temperatures are also going very bad. Yeah, because even in winters, like this is Diwali time, still it's heavily. And it feels like, when you read that it's 33 but feels like 42. So that is the kind of temperature that we are facing. So let's join hands and let's change the, and people like you are going to be the change makers. So all the very best to you. God bless.
Yes, thank you so much for the beautiful wishes. But I also feel even technology has a different way of aspect. One is a bad, just as you mentioned, and one is also a good one, which is a good way to spread awareness. Absolutely. So I feel everyone has to adapt to different practices to not just add on sustainability in their lives. But
how do you engage with them, like, because you have to, like, for people to follow the social this thing, in that we will have to innovate in such a way that they relate with it, and that relation will only happen if they are concerned, if they are given the apt knowledge at the apt time. So I think it's something which is very interesting, and definitely such podcasts are going to really motivate.
Right. So using the correct use of technology, correct use of ideas, correct use of initiatives can lead to a huge change, a huge grasp into the improvement.
I believe so.
And I feel if everyone was together, united, this nation and this world can become much more better than what we have imagined.
I'm sure. I believe so. Mother Nature needs this thing desperately. Mother India and Mother Nature needs that.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. And with the last quote that हम आए हैं प्रकृति में से, हम मिल जाएंगे प्रकृति में. किसी को दफनाया जाएगा, किसी को जलाया जाएगा, but जाना तो है प्रकृति में. So when we are born out of a womb, like that's a mother. And when we are going, and our last, this thing will be nature, that will be again mother. So that's Mother Nature and the mother connection. So if we are taking care on the true level, and if that sustainability and everything what we are doing is for our mother. So
Right.
this is what purely means,
Yes.
for an Indian and this. So
That whole enriching cycle is connected.
absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
जिंदगी में हर छोटी कोशिश एक बूंद की तरह होती है जो मिलके एक नदी बनाती है. Every small effort, every little victory brings you closer to your dreams. So never underestimate your actions, क्योंकि बूंद बूंद से ही नदी बहती है और ये छोटी बूंदें आपको अपने मंजिल तक पहुंचाएगी. Dreams may be big or small, but hard work is what truly counts at every step. अगर ये पॉडकास्ट आपको इंस्पायर करे तो लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें. Let us keep inspiring others. Until then, keep embracing sustainability and I'll see you next time.